you are in charge of carving out that path for yourself. If you want to like fuck it to Spain or like
fuck it to Spain. What is that?
You said what you said.
Yeah, I said what I said.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our first episode of season 2 of 30, Flirty, and Surviving. My name is Tracy.
My name is Kelsie.
And I'm Tanisha.
And look who we have on that little video over there.
It's me, Jessica.
This is so bizarre, but awesome at the same time.
I know, it's so weird not being there with you guys. But yeah, so it's obviously been a minute. I am on this end because I moved to New York City.
Woohoo!
Very exciting stuff. It's been quite the ride. That's an understatement. I live in Bushwick in Brooklyn, for all you listeners out there who might know the area. It's a really dope area to live in. The move was shit, in case anyone was wondering.
We'll get into that nitty gritty because I feel like the people need to know.
Yeah.
You know, but
what not to do when moving.
What not to do when moving. And in the meantime, don't forget I'm rusty because it's been a second, but follow, like, and definitely comment at 30 Flirty Surviving Podcast on Instagram, Facebook. What? Instagram.
We don't have a Facebook.
See, Tracy's talking about TikTok and I'm like a grandma. I'm not on the TikTok grade.
Please make sure you add us to your buddy profile, your top 8.
Yes.
If you have a MySpace, a Tumblr.
Add us. So Instagram, 30 Flirty Surviving. And I guess I'll mention TikTok, 30 Flirty Surviving.
Speaking of your buddy profile.
Yes.
Did you guys have AIM back in the day?
Hell yeah, man.
Of course.
What were your usernames?
Tanisha.
Mine were ridiculous. I think I started with like Tawny X Baby X.
That sounds
Gotta get that
sassy.
sexual appeal in for those 15-year-olds.
She's just sitting there, Tawny X Baby, waiting to hear that door open and close and open and close when your crush signs on and off.
I love it. Yeah, mine was Kelsie. Sorry. Go ahead, honey.
It's hard for me to hear when you guys are talking when I turn my volume up.
Technical difficulties. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, you go.
So
well-mannered.
Mine was KelsDog622, and it's because my dad calls me KelsDog. I didn't really have any scandalous names. I just wrote angsty away messages.
Oh, yeah.
And waited for people to see them. And
I was never away. I was always sitting there.
I was never away.
My dad didn't allow us to leave the computer on because he thought it was a waste. Like, it was either you're using it and it's on, and if you're not sitting there, then it's off. So I would just put away messages up and sit there and wait for someone to like write to me.
Did you guys ever fight with your siblings over who had computer time? Because I don't think anybody knows the struggle nowadays of that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
100% we did. But not so much on AIM. Like, we were pretty good. Like, we'd each like chat with our friends and, our little crushes for an hour. But where the battles came in was playing Sims. Because
you loved Sims.
I love Sims so much.
It.
But
you still do.
Yeah, I'd make like my family, and then Lisa'd be like, "It's my turn." I'm like, "I haven't even made the house yet. Come on, like let me do another hour." And that's where we'd fight most.
Just to give you all some background, Tracy made Sim characters for us and our significant others, and even my dogs. And this was, I think, during the pandemic.
Yeah, this was like last summer.
So I'm living out my best Sim life.
No shame.
Yep. So here we are.
Well, anyway, we digress. So yes, follow us on our socials. Yes, you can see that Tanisha is on camera in New York right now. So we thought it'd be a good way to kick off season 2. If you haven't seen Kelsie in a while, to just kind of go over what we've been doing the last couple weeks, some of the changes that we've been going through and things that have been going on, and just get you guys up to date. Yeah. So Tanisha, tell us a little bit about your move and why you decided to, make the big jump and the leap to NY.
I just always wanted to. It's been a dream of mine to move to New York, and I just finally pulled the trigger and did it. Sweet Prince also got a job in New York, so it kind of just worked out. And then I hated my job with a fiery, burning passion. Ooh. So I quit, got a new one, came to New York, and I don't know. I'm just really excited to be here.
Yay.
I'm so happy.
I know. Well, we miss you, but we're so happy for you.
Yep.
And no love lost. We still get to make it happen, baby, just virtually. Digital, get down, like NSYNC said.
Yes. Great song.
It's so weird, like, not being there with you guys. It's
You're
strange.
here in spirit.
I am.
You are. You'll have to visit, or maybe we'll do a podcast from New York.
Yes, live from New York.
Yeah.
It's 30 surviving.
We have to do it. We have to.
That would be amazing. So Kels,
Yeah.
turning to you, my dear. The people hadn't seen you for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes, we held down the fort.
Appreciate you.
Just the
Appreciate
two
you.
of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had some things going on, some exciting things. Do you want to enlighten the people a little bit?
Sure thing. So I moved on to a different company as a VP of marketing, spearheading their team. A lot of life changes. It's kind of funny how Tanisha and I think, went through it at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously much different experiences, but same type of life change, or, like a life change at the same time. And it was weird because Tanisha and I lived together. So
that's right.
It was one less person in the house, and I would walk by her room and just be like, where is she? I need her. I need another female in the house. Come back. Please. And thank you.
Yeah, you're surrounded by male energy between your mans and the dogs.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. I miss the pups so much. There's so many dogs in this area, and I see them, and I'm like, oh, Tito, wait us.
I know. You got to get your own. But your transition wasn't as smooth as mine to New York, was it?
Dude, it was brutal. It was fucking brutal.
Yeah, I think it's
scammed.
This is a straight PSA for anybody that's moving.
Only go to like Angie's List or something like that, because I think I was just so frazzled by the move and stuff like that. So then when I was looking up movers, I was like the first one on the list. I looked at the Google reviews and I was like, oh, it looked good. And it was a third party. It's long story, very short. It was a third party moving company that we used. And if I'd never used movers before, so I'm sure I wouldn't have fallen into the scheme. But they're like, we hire the movers for you. We set everything up, so we use them. The day of the move came, suddenly they hiked up the price to almost $2,000. And then the third party movers eventually ghosted us. The movers showed up in New York, and they wouldn't unload the truck until we paid them. My boyfriend was flipping out, saying he wouldn't, and they left with all our stuff.
Absurd.
So I didn't have anything
Literally
for days.
Absurd. So that, to me, that's so good to know, because if I ever move to another state, I'm going to definitely do my research, and everybody else should too.
Yes.
Because that is tough.
Yes.
That's tough.
I know. I mean, I moved across country twice, and it was all seamless for me, and I kind of blindly picked who I
was
chose.
gonna say, yeah.
So honestly, I my heart went out for you. I was like, this is so terrifying, just to not have control of your things and feel like they're lost, and you're already in this new area where you don't know anyone or anything yet, and you just feel kind of helpless.
Yeah.
So we're so sad, but now it's all good. You have everything. You're settled. You started your new job, and on the up and up from there. So very proud of my girls for doing big things.
Woo-hoo!
And having these
Virtual high five, Tanisha. I think with those types of transitions too, there's always, the positive and the negative, and it's a scary thing no matter what. Changing anything, whether big or small, is a lot. It's a lot, and having the support of friends and boyfriends, whoever else, family is definitely very important, and a therapist.
Yeah, and a therapist for sure.
Yes.
And change is just it's so uncomfortable. Change is just a really uncomfortable thing to do. But I think so much growth comes out of it. I know it's like, yeah, no kidding. We all know that. But I think I knew that. And then moving here, I was like granted the move was crap, but even after that, I was like, this is holy crap. Like, this is a big change. But I mean, you can only grow from it.
So it went from crap to holy crap.
Crap to holy crap. I mean, Tracy also has been through the same experience going to LA, and she came back, so that means you are, right?
I did. After 3 years, called her wraps.
Yeah, right? I feel like Massachusetts people always come back home.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
I love it here.
Well, you have the privilege of a lot more flexibility of coming back and forth whenever you want to. You're not a flight away. So it's a lot more sustainable for you to be in New York compared to California. So
yeah,
I respect that. Support you, whatever you want to do. What were you going to say? I don't have anything.
I do have a question. And that's, do you feel like, and this is for anybody to answer, do you feel like you are going through more changes in your older years, in your 30s, than your 20s? Or do you think they're just different types of changes and it's kind of the same amount of changes?
I feel like you should always be changing. So I feel like I'm changing. It's definitely different types of changes. I think that as a person individually, you should always be just evolving, whether it's just trying to learn more or do more. So I feel like I'm changing because I think we've talked about this so many times, but like starting to get to know ourselves so much better. But I think for me, the biggest transitional period and like change in my life right now is like the dynamic in friendships, because everyone is sort of in a different place in their life. I have talked about it before, but like out of our 9 girlfriends who have been friends for 20 plus years, like I'm the only single one. And then we have people that have a boyfriend, that live with their boyfriend, that are married with kids. And so everyone's kind of like doing something a little bit different, like moving away. Another friend of ours is about to move across the country right now too. So like everyone's just very independent right now in terms of our friendships, and so it's different. You feel like you're a little bit isolated or lonely sometimes, you know?
Well, it's to that point, like other people's changes can affect your life too, and other people's life paths can affect your life, and it is interesting to see how the dynamic of a friend group, especially one that's been together as long as ours and has as many girls in it, changes over time. But it's, you know, we never know what tomorrow holds. Like you could be married with kids tomorrow.
That would be extremely difficult, but sure.
And that's a no for me, dog. But
I'm not quite sure. I was hoping, actually. Never mind. Just forget I said.
All right, Tanisha, what do you think about that? Do you feel as if you're going through more changes now than ever? Obviously, New York is a huge change and something that you've been working towards, I feel like, literally since high school or before. But do you think they're just different changes or more nowadays?
I think they're just different changes. I feel as though the changes I went through in my 20s were kind of not in my control, and the changes I'm going through now are all decisions I'm making for myself.
That's
for various reasons. What's that?
That's a very good point. Like you have nothing to do with puberty, but like what job you take is kind of in your hands.
Yeah.
Are you going through the changes, sweetie?
You know what? I have hot flashes and everything right now.
True.
It's just different. I feel as though in my 30s, I just have way more control of my life. Well, not in all areas, but in a lot of different areas. I think I'm just kind of like, you just don't give a shit. And you're like, this is my life, and you make decisions for yourself, and it's just different altogether.
Amen.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like you're more willing to get pushed around in your 20s for some reason. I mean, I was at least, and just go with whatever anybody says. I honestly thought that older people had the key to life and the, the path of so we have a different opinion here. But like,
no, I mean like jokes on us. Like no, everyone thought that.
Jokes on us. I like saw something the other day that was like, nobody knows what they're doing. And I think I've mentioned it before because I think it's totally true. And you're in the driver's seat. So corny to say, but you are in charge of carving out that path for yourself. If you want to like fuck it to Spain or like
fuck it to Spain. What is that?
She said what she said.
Yeah, I said what I said. Or fuck off to Spain. I don't know. If you want to go to Spain and just drop everything.
I don't think those are the expressions you're looking for.
Imagine this is like the first episode back and Tracy's judging already. Here we go.
I'm going to start using it. I love it. If you want to fuck it to Spain,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. Exactly.
I'm going to go fuck it to Spain, guys. I'll see you later. Can't get the podcast anymore. Sorry.
Oh, my God.
I love
Sorry,
that
killed me. I didn't mean to.
No, it's
the
fine.
conversation.
I mean, you can't offend a cancer ever. It's fine. I get constantly offended.
Shots fired.
We'll get into a story about that later too, but I would like to know, even though I experienced it from a firsthand perspective, about your Instagram live fiasco the other night, girls. What was that all about?
Okay, so I haven't had any life updates or anything really going on. Things are smooth sailing over here, but I did try something different. I did try Instagram Live for the first time. We were at one of our girlfriend's house, and she has a young daughter, and the daughter was being like so cute. She was like, I love you, and she'd say hi, and she'd dance, and she wanted to play, and she picked up my phone, and so she was like trying to take pictures, and she wanted to use it, and I don't know why it came to me, but I was like, oh my God, I should put her on Instagram Live. Like, just let her do her thing. That'd be the perfect Instagram Live. Mm-hmm. And so Tanisha says yes, her mom says yes. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And it starts off really strong. Right away, she was like, hey, people. And she's cute and she's smiley. She's working the crowd. She starts to show a little bit of a nip. We had a little bit of a nip slip. Then it went downhill. She started picking her nose, but it was hilarious. And so Tanisha is simultaneously watching the live from her phone while I am recording it.
No.
And I love you so much, but there was just an absolute lack of common sense because Tanisha starts roll calling the people that are tuning in to my Instagram Live, and she's like, oh my God, so-and-so and so-and-so are watching right now. I literally tossed my phone like a hot potato. Like I threw
Gotta get it off.
And she's like, what? I'm like, Tanisha, they can hear you. They can hear you say their names. And when I tell you, like, I saw the light bulb turn on in Tanisha's head, and she was like, oh my God. She was like, I just thought because it wasn't my phone and my Instagram Live that like I'm like, you're sitting right next to me. And like the two people that she called off were like this one guy that I went on a date with in June and then like never went out with again, like never called him back. So I like felt so bad for the kid. And then like some other kid like that I went to college with, but it was just like,
it's never a good idea to do Instagram Live. There's no,
yeah, I learned my lesson. I will never, ever, ever do it again.
Lesson
ever.
learned.
Or at least not around Tanisha.
I was going to say not with Tanisha.
Okay.
Oh, please justify yourself.
Had you not dropped the phone, you could have blamed it on me. Like there could have been some damage control done. And I'm not even kidding when I tell you Tracy threw her phone on the table and just did a lap around the table.
An anxiety lap.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Wait. I literally was pacing back and forth. I'm like, do I text them and say like, sorry about that? Like, I was like, you understand that like anyone that watches this live is going to hear you scream their names.
Yeah.
And like, also the live was no more than 15 seconds. So the absolute like speed at which they hopped on, like it started and they were on it. And Tanisha made sure the public knew.
What's more concerning? No one knows.
Yeah, actually, maybe I should be less worried about Tanisha calling them out and more worried about how fast they joined.
And for reference, so that is deletable, and is it easily deletable for people that may make the same mistake as you guys?
It was deletable,
But
but
you guys, you need
I
me.
couldn't find it.
okay.
Like, I had you guys all for like 5 minutes being like, oh yeah, I'm watching it now. And I'm like, no, the live is over. It's been ended. And you're like, oh, no, I just got a notification.
Because it like restarts for some reason. It like you can watch it from the beginning, which is the worst. Like Instagram, what are you doing?
Oh.
Imagine.
I tried to message in it and like make a joke and be like, oh, sorry, like, hi, and like type their names up, but you ended it so fast.
So quick.
I couldn't even try.
Listen,
Good job, girls. Good
some
job.
cans of worms don't need to be opened, okay?
That's some damage control if I've ever heard it.
Those people. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was interesting
Let's see.
choices. Interesting choices.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsie, anything else like that you want to confess
I thought that
in the
I
in the
thought
last
she was
couple
gonna
of weeks
forget about
that
this.
we've been here?
So sometimes I make myself laugh.
Yeah,
Never mind.
let's actually preface this. This is because Kelsie wasn't here for the astrology episodes.
Yes.
We wanted to just let her have a moment to explain how much of a fucking Cancer she actually is.
And
so
like,
why don't you explain this story?
That sounds so bad. Like I'm a Cancer. Like it's my sign. I'm not actually a Cancer.
Yes.
I'd like to think I'm a good friend. But
Absolutely.
anyway, I had a moment. So as you all can tell over the years, like back in the day, I had a temper problem and I was very emotional. I'd like to think I got better. I'm waiting.
Yes,
for you guys.
absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Except for she did cause a fit. She asked if she had to wear a mask inside this building before she got here. And I said, yeah. And she got pissed at how I answered the text
Yeah,
message.
no, I was going to say it wasn't the fact that I had to wear a mask. I was like, your tone. I need an exclamation mark.
Didn't have an exclamation
Yeah.
point. But she's gotten better. She's gotten better.
Like add an emoji in there.
Okay,
You don't
I'm
need that
sorry.
attitude. You might as well
I'm
put a
sorry.
period there. Jesus. Anyway, so I filled Tanisha in because I was equally as shocked at myself as you're going to be.
yeah, I haven't
Hurley
heard
and Tracy.
this.
This story is so good.
So I was at the Alanis Morissette concert, like a typical 90s kid. Fantastic, by the way. Her vocals are still 10 out of 10. Really great show. I did get a little intoxicated. I did put Tito's nips in my hard seltzer on the way there, which
Fucking bold move.
you think it would be a good idea. It wasn't at all.
I
So
don't think anyone thought it'd be a
I'm
good
like,
idea.
you know, you're going to Alanis Morissette, you're feeling a little angsty, you put on a little You Oughta Know, screaming that, you know.
Sing it to me.
And Ryan's back at the house, so I went with the wives and girlfriends of his friends who I've become very close
wags.
with. The wags. They're amazing humans. They're great. But we were all feeling angsty together. The boys were back at the house, like watching football, doing whatever. And I don't know what happened. I definitely browned out a little bit. I don't do that often, but I definitely browned out a little bit. And I was having trouble texting Ryan, and I'm like, what the hell is my cellular data off? What's going on? Continued into the next day, and I'm like, what the fuck? You're the only one I can't text. I don't get it. I go to his contact. I blocked him.
Wait, you don't even remember blocking him?
This is my boyfriend of 4 years, whom I love very much, who does nothing wrong to me.
Do you think you could have done it accidentally?
No, I know myself.
No.
I did it on purpose. It's embarrassing. And I also I didn't realize it on my own either. We were in the kitchen. I'm like, I just don't understand this. He goes, did you block me? So I moved away from him quickly because I was like, shit, that's something my Cancer side would do.
you remember.
Fuck. I'm going to move to the other side of the kitchen. I was like, no. And I'm like, oh, let me restart my phone. And I restarted it. And I'm like, try texting me. And it went through. And I'm like, oh, okay. Luckily, he doesn't listen to the podcast, but the wags do.
And
so
the
wags.
Emmy goes to Kelsie Ann Walsh.
The best part is her being like, when he asked that, being like, no. Like,
How dare you accuse me
And
of
he
that?
knows me. We're at the point where he knows me, and he's like, I'm not even gonna get into it because I don't want to know.
Yeah, you were definitely mid,
I was literally shook at that myself, and I went up to Tanisha's room, and I was like, or I called you because I don't know, you were gone at that point, and I was like, you're never gonna guess what I did. And I think you could have. Like, it's definitely a poor personality trait that I have to be angsty at and then you add Alanis on top of it, and I can't help myself.
It was Alanis' fault. It wasn't yours.
Oh, yeah.
I love her, but like she brought out the angst in me. So that's the embarrassing story of the day.
That's hilarious.
I love that story. When you told me that, I was walking down the street and I was dying. I looked crazy because I was dying laughing. And I was like, no, you fucking didn't.
Yeah, I sure did. And I'm on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer, but I'll tell you, people, I'm a full-blown Cancer. Full-blown.
But the best kind. The only good kind of Cancer.
Thanks.
True.
Except for that that instance. But anyway.
So we all have our moments.
I hope you all enjoyed my embarrassment. How to share.
Yeah. So we just wanted to kind of like get you guys up to speed, tell you guys what we've been up to, share some funny stories. But we also want to let you know what to kind of expect this season on season 2 of 30 Flirty Surviving. So we definitely want to get more into games and guests for sure. I know we've been kind of listening to your feedback about the topics as a whole, and you guys want to move away from that a little bit. And so not every episode is necessarily going to be, a specific topic, but we'll sprinkle some things in there. You guys wanted to talk some things about like self-care and toxic relationships, so we'll have those, but we're gonna space them out with guests and games and do more like embarrassing stories, things we've done, things that are just kind of like going on. There'll be plenty more Dear TFS. There will also be some new things coming up as well. We're gonna have some additional things on the side. We don't want to tell you about them right now, but some additional video stuff that we're gonna do, get extra clips and video content out for you guys outside of just the episodes. So stay tuned. Kels, where can they find us to find those things when that happens?
TikTok 30 Flirty Surviving, and then Instagram at 30 Flirty Surviving Podcast, and definitely not Facebook. And I, for one, am very excited this season to hear more about Tanisha's journey in New York too.
Definitely.
And update everybody on our lives and all the craziness going on. So we look forward to you guys tuning in. And
yeah, we've missed you. We're happy to be back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
definitely.
episode 1 is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Hasta la vista.